The wind brushes across the Great Plains of South Dakota, through Indian country, and through the first tribally owned and operated utility-scale wind turbine. The 750 kilowatt Little Soldier turbine, which can power 200 homes, sits on the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Indian Reservation near their casino in the south-central part of South Dakota on the Nebraska border.
The wind blows all the time. Our capacity factors are 42, 43, 44%. And so that just makes economic sense to move forward in developing the wind resource.
Put up in 2003, Little Soldier turbine was the first step the tribe took to harvest the 18-mile-an-hour average wind on their land and take advantage of the national growing interest in green power. 1,500 tons of carbon dioxide emissions are reduced annually, and the energy sold brings in around $40,000 a year. Because of the success of Little Soldier, the tribe is now in various stages of development for two other large-scale wind farms, a 30 megawatt and a 190 megawatt. These would power almost 60,000 homes and reduce 440,000 tons of CO2 emissions.
If we could put tribal wind on this grid and keep that coal resource in the ground, we could make a big dent in the global warming carbon footprint that we're producing here on the Great Plains.
Even though wind is abundant here, the turbine isn't spinning because of problems with the brake pad, and that's just one of the many hurdles that the tribe has to overcome in order to get their wind operations fully running.
We're ready to build. The developer has to get a power purchase agreement from somebody. The market analysis is telling us that the prices of electricity for renewable energy is kind of down. It's not very good right now.
Also needed is better access to electrical grid connections and changed legislation in order to take advantage of tax incentives. Because the tribe is a sovereign nation with its own government, they don't qualify for U.S. government tax credits, so they need to be able to partner with firms to share the credits with. Having part ownership is what they want. They don't want to be exploited.
Tribes have seen time after time, companies from the outside come in, they build the projects, they own the projects, they call the shots, and they take the profits, and then they leave.
The wind farm development will bring much needed income as well as local jobs for tribal members. Once operational, the revenues would be in the tens of millions of dollars over the course of 20 years.
Todd County or Rosebud Indian Reservation is considered one of the top 5 poorest counties in the nation.
The average per capita income here is less than $8,000 a year, and 40% of the residents live below the poverty level, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The unemployment rate is 85%. Forced treaties with the United States government in the 1880s made the Rosebud Sioux give up the majority of their lands and relocated them to their present reservation. Employment prospects are slim because of lack of businesses. The tribal government, casino, and cattle ranching are the largest employers. But the immense interest in green energy development is giving the tribe a new economy and paving the way for clean power growth across the country. Recent reports and surveys estimate the potential for renewable energy projects on tribal lands would meet the energy needs of 1/4 of the entire U.S. And other Indian tribes are catching on. At the Rosebud Sioux Tribe's Renewable Energy Conference in April, tribes from across the country attended to learn how to harvest their own natural resources to create green energy income, energy independence, and better living situations for themselves.
Hey! Oh, what a wonderful day. This is great. Renewable energy means to me, and means to Lakota people, Native people across the country, is sustainability. It's been for the past 150 years, 200 years. The grandfathers, grandmothers always thought of going back to the old way of life.
I'm from Toyac, Colorado, which is located in the southwest corner of Colorado. Indian people generally are, in tune with the earth, because that's kind of where we come from, and where we live. Out in the middle of nowhere, so we have to kind of, we learned how to survive there. With my tribe, we've always relied on oil and gas, which is a non-renewable resource.
Tribes have the opportunity, not just with wind, but solar, biomass, geothermal under the ground. All of these resources can be found in Indian country.
Also addressed at the conference was energy-efficient housing. Solutions are straw bale houses, solar energy heaters, as well as single-family solar panels and wind turbines. The Little Thunder family home, where 4 generations live, is a pilot project home. Interest in the development of renewable energy projects on tribal lands even stretches to the White House.
When we look at the potential throughout Indian country, I've heard many people say that this could be bigger than the Indian gaming industry, and I believe that as well. And you know, it's not necessarily an energy or not a revenue generator. This is something that really contributes and speaks to who we are as Indian people. It's working with our relatives on the earth, and we're helping our people through these projects.
An elder from the Southwest Pueblo once said to me, "Ron, say all your animals up here kind of lean over to one side. Do they fall over when the wind stops?" I answered, "We don't know, it never stops blowing."